Hey guys, Jude here, owner at the Revolver Club. Today I had the privilege of reviewing the Marantz Model 40N, graciously provided to us by Marantz India. So shout out to them. Marantz, as you know, are extremely well respected in the hi-fi space, known for making world-class amplifiers. The 40N continues that legacy. It's going up against some very serious competition in the form of the Cambridge Audio Evo 150, the Name Unity Atom, as well as the NAD M10 V2. I spent quite a bit of time with the amplifier. I found it to be a really impressive piece of kit. In today's review, I'll go over the aesthetics, obviously the specifications, and the outright performance. And so let's get started. So I'll start with my initial impressions aesthetically. The Marantz weighs in at about 16 kilos, so it's fairly robust, built like a tank, like most Marantz products. What was slightly unusual about the Marantz was that it came with a really nice remote. And what I mean by nice remote is it felt good. Okay, it was a little heavy. I felt like I could throw it at somebody, and seriously hurt someone. Unusual in today's day and age to get a remote with that build. So props to Marantz for doing that. I think that aesthetically they've clearly gone down the vintage route, the sort of retro feel. The front has sort of pseudo carbon fiber along with sort of diffuse lighting and a center display, circular display, which obviously resembles the Model 30, which is a sister product. What's unusual about this is that most of their competitors at this price point, the NAD, the Cambridge Audio, as well as the Name, they all come with full-fledged sort of displays where you can put on album artwork, you could put on, in the case of the NAD, digital VU meters. So I think for some people that's a big deal. I think that for those people who do prefer a retro approach to design, I think the Marantz is straight down your alley. So now we get into specifications. I'm not going to list all the specifications. You can find that on my website. Instead, I'll just go over the basics. 100 watts per channel at 4 ohms, which means that it can provide power to basically any speaker out there in the market right now. Both wireless connectivity options, Bluetooth as well as Wi-Fi, AirPlay 2. It has a nice moving magnet phono stage, which means obviously that you can connect a turntable for all you vinyl heads out there. It's got a sub out, which means you could obviously attach a subwoofer if you needed a little extra bass in your life, for all you EDM fanatics specifically and heavy metal guys. On the front end, it has a nice headphone amplifier. So if you have a decent pair of headphones lying around, you can definitely put those to use as well. What separates the Marantz from the competition, however, is the fact that it has an HDMI at the back, EARC HDMI. Which obviously means you can connect this to your TV. I think that's going to be a sort of a game changer, simply because it now means that the amplifier also entices movie enthusiasts. So it's not just music buffs. I think a lot of movie guys are going to look at this and say, hey, I need this in my life, simply because a lot of people spend a lot of time streaming movies off the likes of Netflix and Amazon Prime. So I think Marantz were very smart in putting that in because they've sort of doubled the size of their market. I also think that you'll find a lot of their competitors who make amps at this price point integrate HDMIs in further iterations of those products. We now get into the performance aspect of the review. Before I do that, I just want to talk about sort of audiophile lingo. I hate it. So I'm going to try and minimize my usage of cliched audiophile musings. Excuse me if I struggle to come up with adequate terms to describe what I'm hearing. I started this demo with the Fine Audio 502 SPs, which are the 502 series speakers with the 7 series driver. They sell for about 3,000 to 3,500 pounds in the UK. So, fairly high-end speakers. I was pairing them up with a NAD 388, which is a conventional sort of amplifier / DAC from NAD, retailing for about 1,400 pounds. So not significantly cheaper than the Marantz, but at the same time, that's something to sort of remember. So I was obviously expecting the Marantz to sound, better, but when I finally plugged it in, I was blown away. It sounded significantly better. My jaw was firmly on the floor. The speakers sounded totally different. I think that's the best compliment that I can pay to Marantz. The speakers truly now felt like they were performing like they were fully capable of. I think that, what the Marantz amp does really well is, I found that warm music sounded warm. I found that dynamic music sounded dynamic. It did what it had to do for that specific track. I watched a few movies. My movie experience went up sort of tremendously. I think that Marantz have really knocked it out of the park with this product. I think that for most people looking to set up a sort of a home entertainment area with a TV and a couple of set of speakers, I can't think of anything in the market. I know that the name has HDMI, but the name is driven by a Class D amp, and as far as I'm concerned, it can't deliver it can't deliver the balls that the Marantz can. And I think for that reason, the Marantz has sort of really separated itself from the rest of the pack. I've had the Marantz Model 40N with me for the last 7, maybe 8 days now. I've really gotten accustomed to how they make my fines sound. I'm going to be really bummed when they have to be given back to Marantz. I am now required to provide a conclusion to this video. The conclusion is this: if you have 2, maybe 3,000 pounds to spend on a home entertainment amplifier, I would spend it on the Marantz. It blew me away with the performance. I think that additional HDMI, which allows you to connect to your TV for your movie experiences, really ups the value quotient. I do know that the name comes with HDMI, but the name is driven with Class D amplification. It just doesn't have the bite. Marantz just adds a level of balls to the speaker that none of its competitors can do. I think that when you combine that with the fact that Marantz has exceptional after-sale service, there's really nothing in the market that can provide value, performance, as well as reliability at that level. And so for that reason, the Marantz Model 40N gets my total seal of approval. That's it for this one. I hope you liked the video. If you did like the video, please like the video and subscribe. Everything that I've spoken about today can be found in links in the description below. And I hope to see you again soon.